Well, hey guys, welcome to Bowhunting Soul. Okay, so I want to do a video on a ground setup that almost worked out at the very last day of season. Plus, I kind of want to do more about ground setups and stuff anyway. This year, later season, I've talked about this before. If you watch the stool video, the awesome stool that I have that I've been using, late season, you know, it gets cold. I don't want to be climbing trees. When I do, you know, like I said, it's at the end of a sit, fine motor skills go away. It's slippery, it's icy, I mean, I just want to get away from that. I don't mind being in one, you know, during early season, mid season, but sometimes it's just easier. Plus, the later in the season you get, I'm in Minnesota especially, the later in the season you get less time. I already get like not enough time anyway, I feel like. So if I need to get somewhere, I need to go in and set up, sit and be there. And I don't want to waste time with the tree stands and the climbing and all that stuff and hoofing all that stuff in. I want to be able to go, get in, sit down and be able to hunt. So anyway, so I'm in an area here that I've had, I probably talked about this, this little kind of location, right kind of around me here. Okay. Probably talked about this several times before, and if I haven't on a video, I probably talked about it on the podcast. I've had multiple encounters with deer here. I've always either been like one tree off or one kind of direction off if I sat on the ground or something like that. I've sat in a lot of these trees up here. Now, some of these trees are kind of sketchy, right? This is a floodplain. This is a marsh. It's marsh grass here. And depending on the year, like if I stand here, some years I would be like well underwater. Okay, I mean the water level would be like well above my head. That means like the soil and everything around here isn't all that great. Okay, crows are going crazy. It's almost like they know I'm trying to make a video. Trees fall over all the time, and anyway. So long story short, I kind of want to be more on the ground on here anyway. Plus, there's a lot of stuff to set up in over here. Now, this area that I'm standing in, this kind of circle behind me, all around behind me, what will happen is historically I've got this, what I call this kind of curtain of brush, or this, you know, I call it red brush. We call it red brush around here. Right about here, well, no, right about here is where deer have been coming out, or through this curtain right here, and they come out and they mill about right kind of where I am. Okay, they'll browse a little bit and then they'll move their way that way. Okay, they'll kind of keep going that way. So, like I said, I've been in some of these trees over here, and I've never quite been able to. Again, it's just luck of the draw, right? I had 3 encounters with deer this year here, where one was under my stand at like 3 minutes after legal shooting light. One kind of came out a little bit, went under the tree that I was in over there, and then she turned tail and she sat there for about 5 minutes, not giving me anything but a Texas heart shot. So anyway, what I wanted to do was, on the last day of the season, I wanted to do a ground sit. Now, I want to turn you around over here. If you see right behind me here, right there, God, that's weird to do, right there. Okay, you'll see my awesome Minnie Mouse folding stool and my backpack, right? My backpack's right there. We are about, I'm gonna say 12 paces from there, right about where the deer usually come out and typically mill about. Now, it didn't work out that last night, but in my mind it worked out because the setup worked out, but the result didn't work out. And I'm gonna tell you why. There's a weird ending to this, but just we gotta wait till the end. So my thought was to sit over here in this brush. Now, when I was in there, I actually had a few more of these kind of folded over in front of me. So I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna sit, but I'm gonna take you down to deer height level, and I'm gonna go sit down there and I'm gonna show you what the deer would have seen. Now, the setup is, my shooting lane is here, right? Tucked in. However, I'm gonna lean my bow over here. Actually, I'm gonna take it off the okay, so we're at deer height level, okay? And typically I'd be in a leafy top and a leafy head net, right? Head mask kind of thing. And I'd be sitting right there. Now this would be the shooting lane. However, they're coming out again here and they were kind of meandering this way, this way, this way. And then my thought was to get a shot when they meandered right where I'm sitting here. However, the other part of this, and I actually, before it came out that day, I was watching a Dave Toms video, who hunts on the ground a lot too. So thank you, Dave Toms. And he made a point to say, well, one of the important things to do is to have, oh, I missed it. See, so well hidden, I missed it. Here we go. To have a lane where you first see them come out and you see them. You see my stool in there? Where is it? Sorry, right there. Right, you see them. It's backwards on this, I'm sorry. No, it is right there. See, it's so well hidden. I can see it. So you see them. So this is even more hidden with brush. I had more brush in the way in front of me, like straight in front of me over here. So if everything worked out perfect, I could potentially get a shot this way. However, the goal is to see them here. And then as they walk through, you're hidden through all this brush in front of here. And I'm walking like the deer's path right now. Okay, so this is how, zoom out a little bit, and this is how. And then I get to here, well, basically even out to here, because I would know they're walking this way. And I'll be sitting there brushed in just a little bit better. I had some more of this marsh grass kind of covering in front of me, and I'm low. See that? I disappear, mostly disappear. And if I'm in, if it's low light, again, they were coming out at, you know, a half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes before legal shooting light. And boom, there's my shot, or even before that. So I'm gonna go sit in there. I'm gonna show you what it looks like in there. All right. So it doesn't look like much, but again, I'm in here, I'm tucked in, and here is my lane that I'm going to see them cross, right through here. And again, it's a little more open now. I had more kind of stuff folded over in here. And this is potentially a lane where you could potentially see them or shoot them, okay? But it's more of a sacrifice lane that you see. And then as they're making their way here, this gives you an opportunity to draw or get set up or whatever. Pick up your bow if you don't have it in your hand. And then right about, boom, right here, I get my shot, okay? I'm hunkered in nice and low. Okay, so this is my backdrop right here. This is my backdrop. Again, I'd have a leafy head net on, which, guess what? I was looking for this. This is where I dropped it. This is my favorite leafy head net. Oh man, it's full of snow. Hold on a sec here. I'm so happy I found this. I love this thing. I wear this thing even when I don't wear anything else. I always have this thing on, right? So I must have dropped it the last time I sat here about a week and a half ago. Our season ended on December 31. So anyway, it didn't work out. So anyway, what happened? I'm going to show you what happened here. All right, so you're facing away again. What happened was I was waiting for a deer to come out through here, and they did. Now, normally they kind of mill around. They're very slow. You know, and they kind of browse here and then browse here, which would have been my perfect setup, right? I mean, it worked great. Now, deer, I think the one that was actually under my stand that was like 3 minutes after legal, like, you know, about a week and a half before, she came out here, but she was on like a decent walk, right? They normally, they're very, very slow. They kind of meander. She was on a decent walk, and then she kind of went like this. And when I was expecting her, again, I'm sitting here, she came through, and I was expecting her to pop out here. But what she did was she came in and then went straight away that way. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like towards that tree. And again, nothing but her backside. Again, that's only about 12 steps away, but no shot. And then very soon after, her probably yearling, but I mean, it was a yearling old enough to shoot. I mean, you would have shot that doe and be like, oh, that's a decent sized small doe. She was with her. So she also did the same thing, kind of boop, 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 boop. They had no idea in the world I was here. The wind was coming like this way, right? They had no idea in the world I was there. They didn't even see me. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because they're going out this way and following that way. Well, so what happened after that, of course, is when I saw the two deer come out kind of fast, and I'm like, well, that was kind of, and again, you're processing this in a matter of like a couple seconds, right? You're like, well, that's kind of, they don't normally walk that fast. I know I didn't spook them. They didn't see me. Why are they trot, trot? And then not like 3, 4, 5 seconds later, there's a buck, a decent 6-point buck goes trot, 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 and then following them. So that buck was chasing on December 31 in Minnesota, which I've never seen a buck chase that late in the season before. And then later on, I was talking to a buddy, I was texting with a buddy, and he saw the exact same thing a little bit farther up north from here. He had bucks chasing does in a field. So the buck kind of ruined my day. I'm gonna blame the buck, because this setup, it was absolutely just killer. It was just killer. I mean, again, you got to picture this in low light, hard to see anyway. I mean, I didn't even need a face mask on, but I mean, I was tucked in. There's no way, and they didn't see me. They didn't see me out of peripheral. You know, everything worked out perfect, right? She came in this way. I'm like, sweet, this is gonna work. I saw them get ready, but then they went straight ahead instead of emptying or you know, kind of dumping out into this area and just kind of hanging out like they normally do in browse. She went straight that way. The other one went straight that way, and then the buck started like trotting right after him. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So anyway, but it did snow here. It snowed the other day, and got some good intel. So what I wasn't sure was whether they were coming out, and they do sometimes come straight out of this curtain right here, which I've typically had a rub line through there, and there's still like rubs and stuff in here, but sometimes they come through straight through this way, right? You can see the rubs and everything over here, and they bust through, and then there's more of a clearing over there. But that night I wasn't sure if they were filtering through this way or coming through this line. Well, guess what? A little bit of post-season scouting. These are my footprints here from before I started making the video. Look at this. Right? Now I know they're coming this way through this little gap, and not this way through here, which they do sometimes filter through there, but this is the way they came out, and then they went that way. My setup is right here. All right, so I know this ended up being kind of like a longer video, but so my setup would be kind of like here around the corner from this little, you know, this little thing here, right? It'd be around like that side of it. So now I know next year, next season, if I do the same thing and set up either on this point, because this is kind of like a corner point right here. Right here is a corner point. I was over there, they're coming from over here, this way, sometimes this way, but I know now if they're coming this way, I could potentially do the same 2 shooting lane thing, right? Through here, in here. And again, all you're really doing is like walking through brush. You're not like breaking a bunch of stuff. You're not, I mean, there's lots of deadfall here. You can put more stuff in front of you if you need to. But I mean, all you really need is like one little path. And what you could do is you can kind of open up a, kind of stomp a little path this way. Okay, across like that, just through here. So it points into this opening here, just a little bit. And then again, when they're walking through this way, see them over here, another path over here, shooting lane over here. So anyway, that's it. So I hope that was useful. I'm gonna try and do more ground hunting stuff. I'm gonna work more on my ghillie game. Been watching a lot of Robert Carter videos, obviously. I've been watching a lot of Dave Tom's videos, and I'm gonna try and make some sort of better boonie hat with a ghillie, you know, to kind of cover up from here, the shoulder area here, right? Not necessarily just a hat, so you don't have this L shape, you know, or triangle shape outline. You want this more covered up so you don't have the silhouette of, you know, shoulder and heads and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna try and work on that. But anyway, my setup was in there. Try out that little tiny stool, by the way. It works really good. You may need some sort of ground pad or whatever to insulate you in the winter, because the plastic does get cold. But you know, there it is. Perfect ground setup, ruined by a buck. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.